Hey, Shaycarl and Katilette. This is Mr. WM2800. This is Bill. And I enjoyed your podcasts on sex. And to some degree, I agree with you. And to some degree, I'm wishy washy a bit. But more so for the younger folks, I could see, on the holding out kind of a thing. But recently, I had tried to kind of get back into a church type thing. And quite frankly, the sexual thing is kind of one of the big things that pulled me away from it because, they're saying, you have to be married, and if you're not married, it's a sin. And it just feels too strict for me at my age. And now I've been divorced a long time, and my marriage wasn't terrific, and the sex wasn't that great. Not that I blame my ex wife, it's not her fault at all. And I would have not left the marriage just for that reason. I would not have done that, but we didn't get along anyway. So that was just, another strike in it, I guess. But I, I do worry that if we don't, have some kind of experience, that one won't know what one likes in a sexual encounter, and it's a very difficult thing to find it out after you're married, and would have to get divorced. Um, Also, I take exception when people use the word slut, because it's really very sexist. The guy that's involved in the same activity from the male part of it is a hero and looked up upon and gets high fives, and the girl can be called a slut for the same involved in the same act, and I find that offensive. I think. I am the father of three daughters. They're grown up now, and I did not forbid sex. I did not make it like evil or dirty or anything like that. I let them know that they had a choice. They could choose to wait till they were married if that's what they felt was the right thing, or they could choose to engage, as young adults, certainly not as children, but once they were of age. And as long as they were, protection and diseases and pregnancy and all that, take that all into it. And but I would not make it forbidden. I would not make them feel uh, like a slut or less valuable. My mother and father's generation was just the opposite. At least they were fair about it. Being the guy and like a male in the family, they were just as harsh on me as they were with my sisters. They weren't double standard. They told me I'll break your legs, and they told my sister I'll break your legs. So at least they were even about it. I'll give them that. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one for me as an adult. I can see it more as like high school age, and yeah, that's not a great time to get involved. Even though when I was in high school, I certainly wanted to. I didn't because I just wasn't that lucky, or not too much anyway. But I can certainly understand that. But then when we get into adulthood, I'm 50 some odd years old. I'd like to find a wife. I'd like to find somebody to spend my life with. And, but, the idea that I have to be celibate until I get married, and it's just too much. It's too strict. I just don't feel like it's right. I know the Bible says that, and they're very clear on it, actually. I just don't like it. It doesn't sit well with me, I guess. But anyway, I think you had a great podcast there, and I think you put out some good information. I will say that the religious people that do wait, like you guys did, tend to have the best marriages. I've seen that. Uh, Even in my own family, there's a portion of my family that's very strict Catholics, and they all waited till they got married, and every one of them have a very good marriage. I got to say that. I got to, say how it is. So I must admit, there's something to it, that way. But it's too strict for me. But what are you gonna do? But anyway, God bless. I just wanted to throw a few comments there, and thanks again for the podcast. Bye bye now. God bless.